So this weekend is the 40th anniversary of when 35,000 women came and embraced the Greenham Common, the 9-mile perimeter of Greenham Common. I'm Rebecca Johnson, and I'm one of the 3 women that first set up the Aldermaston Women's Peace Camp. This is the original first ever banner for Aldermaston Women's Peace Camp. I'd just come out of prison actually for my first ever action at Greenham and was living at the camp. But about a year and a bit later, 3 of us who were living at camp, Lorna, Lynn and me, jumped in my car and decided we were going to spend a weekend at Aldermaston to put the focus on the British nuclear weapons as well. We wanted to ban all nuclear weapons, not just American, but everyone's.
I'm at Aldermaston and we're here for 40th year celebration of the surround the base at Greenham. And it's wonderful to see all these old Greenham women here.
Basically, to celebrate or to mark, really, I don't think celebrate is possibly the right word, the 40th anniversary since the Embrace the Base at Greenham, but also the significance because the USA are talking, well, I think it's probably a done deal, of actually putting their nuclear weapons in Lakenheath. So it's that irony of 40 years later, we might have to go and do another camp.
Coming as well.
This weekend's really significant for me. I've actually been working promoting it for some time because 40 years ago on this day, I joined the women who were embracing the base, and it meant an awful lot to me. And so I and my daughter joined the women holding arms, and for the first time I realized I had a feeling of what it was to be a woman and being proud of being a woman.
Well, the Aldermaston camp occurred after the Greenham had got rid of all the US nuclear missiles here.
And we decided then that we would actually come every month and just camp from Friday to Sunday.
And we have developed a court case has gone through to make sure that we're allowed to stay here. And so there are monthly camps here to remind people that women care about getting rid of nuclear weapons.
Hi, my name's Abby and I'm a student at Newcastle, currently researching Greenham Common. So yeah, I heard about this through my studies. My module leader suggested it to me and I just thought it sounded amazing because I really wanted to get more of an insight into the experiences of the women who live there.
We're at Aldermaston Women's Peace Camp, which is having a Crones and Spiders weekend. I've been long involved in the peace movement. The first times I remember, Charlotte, there were 2 things. One was just like a totally joyful, playful thing, where there was a blue sky and we were playing with hay, just like
At Yellowgate.
at Yellowgate.
At Greenham Common.
Yeah, Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp, like chucking hay around.
When I first went to Greenham before Embrace the Base, it was life-changing for me because the women I met were, well, just incredible women, and I've learnt so much from them and that kind of wisdom that comes from women. And obviously there's so many connections that are being made to do with the climate, to do with the oppressions of other lands.
Hello, my name is Zohra. I am as an ex-political prisoner. I know over 30,000 people arrested in the recent uprising. One was executed just 2 days ago, Mohsen Shikari, and the others are waiting for the execution. Please be the voice of the Iranian people. Please ask your government to stop any relation with the Iranian regime and shut down the Iranian embassy in London. We need your help and support to stop the less killing, to bring the freedom and change in Iran for democracy and for peace for everywhere. Thank you very much.
So I'm at Aldermaston Women's Peace Camp. This is about my 5th time coming here, I think, over the last year. I first got to know about Aldermaston through my work with Greenham Women Everywhere, and we recreated the march, the Women for Life on Earth March in 1981. We recreated that on the 40th anniversary last year from Cardiff to Greenham, so walked for 10 days. Yes, found out all about Aldermaston and thought, well, this is important, this is happening now. It's one thing looking back and considering the amazing things these women achieved, but there's so much more still to do. And what's happening now? What can we do now to make a difference?
We're here at Aldermaston because this is a centre of where the UK nuclear weapons are built. Burfield's just down the road. It's a major part of the climate change debate because the military causes war, war causes climate change.
And also the link between climate emergency and the militarisation of the world and war. And the fact that the military have been taken off, or the emissions and the pollution and the toxins and everything to do with the military have been taken totally out of any agenda or discussions on climate change, carbon emissions and footprints, etc. And yet it's massive. It's at least 6% of global emissions, if not more. And certainly with Ukraine, that would have been increased hugely.
This place represents a growing family, I suppose. Safe physically, but also safe to share opinions and talk.
I'd really like people to know about just the fact, the extent of nuclear weapons in the UK and indeed in the world, the fact that we have got them, the cost of them, the idiocy of them, the fact that we absolutely can't use them and yet we're still increasing them vastly, and the threat that they put us all under globally as well as just within the UK, because at some point nuclear weapons will be used.
My hopes for 2023, there'll be a big shift in people's thinking, and that they will come together, all the various groups.
There's so many things that need doing, and they're not just focused. Yes, they're focused on, the nuclear weapons factory that it's right next to, but they're focused on everything that links with the bigger, the wider problem of patriarchy, violence against women, climate change. All of those issues are all about weaving the web, which all started at Greenham, and I hope to continue weaving that web.
And that all links up with the issues of, the climate and ecological emergency. We're both quite active in Extinction Rebellion. So it's fantastic to come back here this weekend and have a really big women's peace camp and join up all the issues and see how we're going to mobilise and get out on the streets, mixing with other organisations. Yeah.
I would really like people to get together and listen and think about what's going on and learn more, and to actually get up, because there are many, many things you can do. You can come out on the streets, but there are many, many ways that you can affect change and do your bit.
Things are at least as bad as you may think they are. And if you think things are okay, they're not. And that is a terrible message. But if we all believe that, if we all have our heads right out of the sand and looking up around the world and know that we need to do something and then get together and do it, we can change things.
RAF Greenham Common, night before Embrace the Base. Protesters sit around the campfire. How many do we need?
8,600. That's a lot. 9 miles.
Protesters look at each other. Hannah turns to the protesters triumphantly.
So we'll need 8,640. Whoa.
Bring me a gun and I'll shoot that bird dead. That's what your mother and father once said. Crow on the cradle, oh, what shall we do? This is the thing that I leave up to you.
And as they eat, a strange transformation begins. Women sprout wings and crow-like beaks, or suddenly find they have 6 more legs than they were used to. The spiders, crows and women multiply into millions. Then in one motion, a huge murderous murmuration of crows rise up, and the spiders stream across the ground, all moving to surround AWE. The spiders and spider women run along up and down every wire of the perimeter fence, weaving their webs. And the crows and the flying women hover over the entire AWE base.
Ciao, bella, ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, ciao. We are freezing, hungry for justice. We want to run for revolution now. We are freezing, oh, bella, ciao.